She is known for the twist that she gives in her tales. So forge is a place wherein the casting and all happens, that iron ore casting and all happens. No? So that is called as a forge. Okay, how you can love somebody, how you can give your emotions and change somebody, how you can reform somebody. It is possible for anybody to change through love. Kroner is the currency of Sweden. A very warm welcome to all the young minds of Class 12 Cbse. I am Dr. Shalini, your English teacher at Prep School. So today we are here to discuss about one of the lessons from your Flamingo, that is the Rattrap. This is a very interesting lesson for you and you will enjoy reading it. So let us see what is there in today's session. We'll be understanding about the author first before we move into the lesson. Then we'll move on with the theme of the lesson. Then we will understand the summary, just a guide for you to understand the story. Then we will understand the new words and phrases that are used in this lesson. Okay. So let us begin to understand about the author now. Okay. So here is the author and she is Selma Lagerlöf. Okay, so she was a Swedish writer and her works have been translated to other languages. Okay, so she is known for the twist that she gives in her tales. Okay, so this also is a wonderful lesson wherein you get lot of twists in the tale. So let us move on to the story now. Okay, so let us start with the summary now. Before that, we'll just understand the theme of it. Okay, so what is there in the story? The story is actually narrated in the form of a fairy tale. Okay, so you read it, you feel like you're in a different world. Okay, so it is in the form of a fairy tale. Okay, even when you read a fairy tale, you feel it, right? You are in a different world. So this also, it is written in the same way. It actually gives us a message that the emotions of love and acceptance can reform others. How you can love somebody, how you can give your emotions and change somebody, how you can reform somebody. Okay, so yes, it is actually a proven fact that with love you can change anybody. Yes, this is a support for that. Okay, so let us now move on to the summary of this rat trap. Okay, so to begin with, let us understand how the story starts. Okay, the story is set in the middle of mines of Sweden. Okay, so which are rich in iron ore. The mines of Sweden are actually rich in iron ores. Okay, so this story has a setting over there. Okay, so altogether it is a mine setting and there this story takes place. So what if you're talking about the setting of the story, you can read the setting is explained to you that it is rich in iron ore and all. Okay, so this is the setting of the story. This is the place where the story takes place. Okay, what happens in the story? There is a rat trap seller leading a very poor life. So what does he do? Rat trap seller, he prepares rat traps using his own materials. Okay, he uses wires and all, steel wires and all, in order to make rat traps of his own. Yes, he used to make it on his own. He never used to buy it from the factories, but he used to make it on his own and he used to sell it. Okay, so he was not able to make it for his life, everyday life also. Okay, so he was leading a very poor life and he was not able to get all the fulfill all his needs. Okay, forget about wants, he was not able to fulfill his needs also. Okay, so he was leading such a poor life. Then what happens to the rat trap seller? Like he feels that the comforts we have are the baits of life. Bait means it's like a trap. Okay, so you put the bait and fishes like that only. This also like the life actually gives us some baits, like we have this comforts, luxury, job, whatever it is. Okay, so what and all we are addicted to, so all these are considered to be baits of life. That is what he feels. The whole world is like a rat trap is what the trap seller feels. Okay, so all of a sudden one day he was simply sitting and preparing a rat trap and suddenly he starts feeling that the world itself is a rat trap. It's like a rat trap. It offers all the luxuries to human beings and it actually takes away the freedom. We are running behind materialistic things and that's how we have been trapped in this world. So that is what he starts thinking. So he feels that comforts that are offered by life are actually baits of life. Okay, so that is what he starts feeling. So what does he do? He doesn't have a shelter of his own. Okay, he doesn't have a place for himself to stay. So every day, what does he do? He searches for shelter every night. So when it is night, he just goes to somebody's house and he asks for shelter because he doesn't have a place to stay of his own. Okay, so he goes to many places. He requests them to give him some place to stay that night, and he stays there, and in the morning he just leaves the place. So this is what his practice was. Okay, so one day he goes to some place, and wherein a crofter offers him some shelter. A crofter offers him some shelter. So then what happens? He was also thieving. This rat trap seller was also into thieving because he was not able to adjust for his everyday needs. So here what happens? He steals something in crofter's house and he escapes to forest. Okay, he didn't want to be caught, so he just ran away from there. Okay, so he escapes into the forest, but what happens? Life brings him back to the same place. Okay, so he has to come back to the city back because he wanted to sell rat traps again. He had to fulfill his needs. Okay, so that money whatever he had actually was over, so he comes back to the city again, that is to the place where he was before. Okay, so though he runs into the forest, he escapes into the forest, he has to actually come back again. Okay, so after he comes back, he takes a shelter in at the forge. Okay, so forge is a place wherein the casting and all happens, that iron ore casting and all happens, no? So that is called as a forge. Okay, so he comes there and he was looking for shelter there. Okay, so he did not have any job, he was selling this rat trap again, so there he took a shelter in forge. Then what happens? The forge owner, that is the iron master, invites him home. He calls him inside. Okay, he feels that the crofter, iron master, everybody is closely related, right? So he feels, I should not get inside, if not I'll be caught. So he stays outside only. He didn't want to be caught, so he doesn't go inside. But what happens? There is a twist in the tale. What happens? The iron master's daughter, the next day also he happens to come there for shelter. Okay, so he just sleeps outside the house only, but next day what happens? The iron master's daughter actually learns that he is staying there and she calls him inside. Okay, so somehow with difficulty he just goes inside and stays there, and these people, that is the iron master and the daughter, they go to the church. Okay, so when they go to the church, they learn that he is a thief. The person who is there at home is actually a thief. Okay, so they happen to talk to the crofter, and the person who is there at home is a thief. Okay, so crofter tells them what and all he stole from their house, but here when they are at church, iron master and daughter, they keep thinking what and all that person must have stolen and gone away from home. Okay, so they'll be worried about that only. Okay, so they are too worried. They wanted to get home early, and they wanted to check what has happened at home. Okay, so they were hurriedly just coming back. So again, there is a twist in the tale. As I said, there is a twist in the tale. While they are coming back, they are actually sent a message through somebody with a rat trap. Okay, so there is rat trap and there is money inside that. Okay, so he sends a message that, like, I am a thief, but I didn't want to be caught, and this whatever I am returning it to you. There was money there which was stolen earlier from the crofter. Okay, I am returning this money to you, and please hand it over to the crofter. Okay, so that is what is the message given there. So the daughter of iron master thinks, yes, it is possible for anybody to change through love. Okay, because here you can see that the thief, though he was a thief, because he was not earlier, he was not known that he was a thief, but he was just a rat trap seller for whoever has offered him the shelter. Okay, so they have offered him shelter. In his mind, that is in the rat trap seller's mind, it was there, like the profession, the ethics was there. Okay, so he didn't want to cheat them. So that thieving and this, when he accepts the invitation of iron master's daughter, right? So all these actually haunts him, and he returns, he pays back whatever he has stolen. Okay, so this is actually a twist in the tale. Okay, so by this, the author Selma tries to prove that yes, through love anybody can be changed, through the humanitarian grounds, like the empathy you offer to somebody, okay, empathy you show to somebody. Okay, so that will actually transform one into a good human being. So this is what the author is trying to say through this lesson. Okay, so I would want you to read the lesson to enjoy each and every detail, because I have just told you in a superficial way. Okay, so now let us move on to the new words that are there in this lesson. Okay, so crofter, as I told you earlier, a person who works in a rented farm. Okay, so a person who is working in a rented farm is called as a crofter, and the crofter here also is the same only. So not only farm, it can be some rented place also. Okay, so here the crofter is working in a place where that forge was there. Okay, so rented forge you can say. Okay, so then bossy, it is a word used in Latin. It's a Latin word, and that is the word for boss. Okay, so that is for a cow. Okay, so boss for cow we use it. Fine. So then we have vagabond. He is a wanderer. Okay, so we can call this a Rattrap seller as a vagabond. Okay, so the person who keeps wandering, who doesn't have a place of his own, is called as a vagabond. Okay, so then plods, he walks heavily, means with forcefully he just puts his steps and he walks. So that is called as plodding. Okay. So then we have dreary, which means dull. Okay, so the dreary nights or something like that you can say, which is very dull. Okay, means there is no enough light. It is actually very dull. So that is the meaning of it. Then plodding, as I said, okay, it's walking heavily. The same thing is repeated. Then here there is one word, it is pronounced as jollies. It is actually a game. It's a card game that is played in Sweden. Okay, so it is the traditional card game. Okay, so it is called as jollies. Okay, so here also the usage of card game is there in this lesson also. Okay, so I didn't mention that in the lesson. It is not considered to be very important, like I just touched upon the very important points only. Okay, so then kroner is the currency of Sweden. Okay, so kroner is the currency of Sweden, and we use rupee here, it is kroner over there. So that is what the currency what they talk about, that is in the end he returns the money and also all that is specified in kroners only. Okay, so these are the new words that are used there in the lesson. Okay, so now I want you to go through the lesson and enjoy each and every detail that is given in the lesson. Okay, so you will really enjoy this lesson because at the last you wouldn't have expected that twist in the tale. Okay, so for that reason Selma Lagerlof's stories are actually very famous. Okay, so we'll meet in our next session with a very interesting topic which I'll not be revealing it now only. Okay, so we'll also discuss about a few of our writing skill topics also. Okay, in the previous session we also discussed about the deleted syllabus also, and this Rattrap is actually included and you will enjoy reading it. Okay, so what do I expect from you? I want you to come with your book and a pencil and mark the doubts whatever you have, so that your doubts will be cleared then and there only. So keep learning till we meet next. Stay safe. Bye bye.